Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome. We're live talking Gauntlet 2025. That time
And
again with Jeff Brown from
we
Reaction
already got
RC.
Nick. We already got Nick giving you crap for being late. 1 minute.
I know.
That's
I had to
actually
use the
really good for
bathroom.
you. 1 minute.
It is really good. It's actually not me. 10:01:30. So I was a minute and a half late.
Oh God, he's got like probably like a digital clock from
I know,
1984
right?
or something. You know.
Tyler. So quick things for anybody that's watching not live later. It is September 19th through 21st of this year, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yep.
and Ionia, Michigan at Walter RC Park. So those are the main things. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to get random, but if nothing else, you know the date, the time. It's like middle of Michigan, almost Lansing area, kind of west. It's kind of central-ish. And it's a good time. It's one of my favorite events. So
Well, everybody's gone before. They know. But we want a lot of new people.
No, I think there's going to be new people that are watching because of the turn of events with, events, the actual ones being canceled.
Yeah.
With Horizon Fest being canceled. And we get it. Also, we can actually talk about here. So some of these things have been canceled, but it doesn't mean Horizon's not caring about what's going around with hobby shops or wanting to do things with their customers. So,
oh no, absolutely.
You actually have them coming to Reaction.
Yes.
In June. So we'll mention that as well, really quick at the front end. So anybody's watching tomorrow, a week from now, they're coming. Can you give us details?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They emailed me some graphics yesterday. But anyways, so Horizon is doing the factory tour thing of checking out, scheduling hobby shops to check out and such. And I kind of chuckled at the email because they're like, yeah, we'll demonstrate small vehicles like SCX 24s, and we'll bring like an inflatable crawler course. I'm like, I got a crawler course for you, buddy. And but no, I sent them some information. So Horizon Hobby will be at my shop on June 21st, noon to 5 p.m. They're going to bring demo vehicles.
So you're opening early that day, or no? That's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday, but
so
I'm sure they're going to want to get in early. And then they'll have Real Flight Simulator and some other stuff just to check out. And I mean,
they crash planes.
Yeah, exactly.
Crash your planes.
But no, they'll have like Helaman demos and Capra demos and all the crawling stuff. So
nice. Those are really like those things are pretty capable out of the box. The Capra and the Helaman.
Oh right? Yeah.
So they're not like necessarily our comp build style, but for caged vehicles like they are, and just vehicles in general, if you're just hitting trails, those things they'll tear it up. Like they're really good out of the box. But they they ride higher. They're more for getting off road, getting over some rocks and stuff. Not necessarily the gate slaying that we do on the super comp stuff, but they definitely are pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, well, and and like case in point with the Gauntlet, you're hitting trails, you're hitting woods, whatever. Like, I mean, your typical RTR, upgrade the servo, a few things, but like out of the box, like man, like if you want something that can do stuff, that's definitely the route to check out. So I've sold a few locally, and those guys are liking them. So
and I know Kyle has one. Kyle was in here. I saw him.
Right. Yeah. The Helaman, exactly. Him and his buddy Dennis. And then I sold another one. And, and even the Capra is a little bit smaller, because they're marketing the Helaman for A scale, which
it's big.
Is definitely bigger.
It's big. Yeah.
I mean, it comes with 5.5-inch tires. And I was like, what? I was like, they don't look like.
No, they're scaled to the truck, but yeah.
Right.
Saw Travis in there. Saw Kyle tonight, actually. At the comp, I was up at Reaction RC this evening. So yeah, he says thing's a monster. Kyle says. So let's talk Gauntlet. I see Dave Walters here. It's going to be at Walter RC Park.
Yeah.
September 19th through 21st.
Yep.
Well, you want to talk costs, kind of what people can expect. There's camping available. There's all kinds of stuff, guys.
Yeah. We'll just do a rundown of the usual, so to speak,
Yep.
stuff. But yeah, I mean, 3 day event, Sunday, nothing officially planned, but you can chill out, hang out and stuff. But yeah, I mean, gates will open again this year, 10 a.m. on Friday. Uh, and then there's planned events, throughout Saturday and Sunday. We'll have the schedule. This year, the entry into the gauntlet is $35.
Okay.
Last year it was
very
30
reasonable.
bucks. Yep. Oh yeah, because camping is included with that.
Yeah, it's
So,
very reasonable.
there's not an additional fee for camping or whatnot. It's like, and it gets you access to
Speaking
everything.
of camping, it's boondocking.
Yeah.
So there's not like water or, they have, they have bathrooms available in that they've got the porta potties, a row of them, two rows of them.
Yeah. Last year I rented,
but there's not like you don't plug in and do all this stuff. So you have to bring some of your own stuff if you want power and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Generators required, preferably quiet ones.
No personal fires.
These days they're cheap, I mean,
but no personal fire pits.
Right.
They have a fire there that they run, but they don't. It's not like don't have campfires out. It's
well,
camping,
I mean, because you're camping on their fields, their grass, their whatever. I mean, for that to grow back, that takes some time.
Yeah, they don't want to have 100 little fire burn marks in there.
Right. They want
all the leftovers of that. Yep. Yeah. Jason saying he can't wait to defend his 1.9 title. We should talk about the trails. We do want to point just make mention to Alice. I have your just kind of notes here, some of the things that you want to just kind of mention.
Yeah, the Walter family, unfortunately, Alice passed away, and huge part of that family and everything, and she was always down for the gauntlet and stuff. So just condolences out to the whole entire Walter family. There is I believe a celebration of life for her on June 22nd. So maybe talk with them if you want more details. That's a Sunday, June 22nd. So
Yep, she'll be missed. She's a big part of all of it. You'd see her face coming around. They'd be coming around in the cart. So with Dave and that, and so and I always parked out, for the final celebration and all that. I would stand by their cart and chat with them usually in the evening. So definitely will be missed, and definitely prayers to the family, because it's something that over time just takes time to get used to, and the difference, so
absolutely.
It's a big change. So somebody's asking about the trails. Are there going to be that many trails? There were 6 trails last time.
We did 6 trails last year, and we did 100 gates. And this is a good kind of link into the chat. So we did 6 trails last year, 100 gates. Then they were per trail, so 600 gates. Okay. It was, they were long and whatnot.
But they weren't all comp for the comps. There was walking. There was more just
correct. Right. Yeah.
General use trails.
The primary, point of the gauntlet, is to have fun. And as the event has gotten bigger, we've adjusted. So now we have a separate comp area, and we're going to move the comp area even further down. Maybe I'll do more than 6 trails. I don't know. We'll see how ambitious we are.
There's just a lot to do there.
Yes.
In general, guys, there's the trails, there's the gauntlet part of it that's so huge. Then you've started adding things like Purgatory, King of Hill, or
King of the Rocks.
King of the Rocks. I didn't want to say King of Hammers. I knew it wasn't that. King of the Rocks. King of the Hill is something my kids would be doing, like on a hill, pushing each other off. But yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff.
King of the Hill. Dang it, Bobby.
I know, right? That's the other thing I was just thinking of. As I mentioned, I'm like, actually, it's a cartoon that we very much like as adults. So yeah, there's it's like you should get there Friday when it opens. Like you should try to. I just saw Actual 32 talk about getting time off of work. You want to be there when the gates open at 11 or 12 or whatever it is on Friday to start rolling in, get settled, bring RCs. The thing, so I was talking with Will today, right? With
Yeah.
you and Will
Yep.
after the
Yep.
comp.
Yep.
That I
And the
wish I
Ring of
brought my
Fire.
snacks, right? That because we were talking about the Ring of Fire, and he was like, I didn't even know you had one. I was still kind of a little pissy with Trax at that moment, so I didn't,
Well, yeah.
I didn't use it very often, and if I did, I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want to give them any marketing or anything. But yeah, I didn't. There's bashing to do. There's the oval track. We were running motorcycles over there last time. I'm set motorcycles on the oval.
Yeah. I
People
mean,
brought actual oval stuff. There's stuff
if,
to do. There's
if
just
you've
so much
never
to
been to
do.
Walter RC, I mean, it's a family farm. It's huge, 300 acres. Just the trails where the woods are is like 60 acres or 40.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And then up front, they have a dirt off road track, a dirt oval track. They have a monster jam area. They have the King of the Rocks. They have a front crawler course. Every weekend except for Gauntlet weekend, they have a flying field, but that's off limits that
Yeah,
weekend. I mean,
flying goal for
they
everybody. That'd be
bring it
dangerous,
for,
right?
they do so much for the hobby that I mean, man,
It's cool. I mean, Travis and I were just there 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
running stuff, and so we ran the trails. I forgot all my batteries. I don't. That's a whole other story. All
Oh,
of them.
he gave you crap yesterday. I think
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, he forgot his whole bag of bat.
So we need to get back out there because I brought like the Mojave. I brought the Heat Wave, Baja Ray. It's gonna just run them on the small like dirt track that they've got there with the little wood jumps. It would be perfect for the Heat Wave because I don't want to break that thing anyway. But there's just so much stuff to do. Actually, I have the Losi. I just got the Joey Logano car.
Okay.
So I'll be making a most hated RC car. Because has nothing to do with the product of the RC car, but the
No.
banner that it carries, right? So
Right.
a lot of Logano haters out there. So
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
make for a good, blurred out image box video.
Now, real quick, with that being said, and we were talking about, being there Friday when the gates open, you cannot come Thursday. End of discussion. Like, I have too
Got
much
Harry
going
last
on.
year.
I have the vendors are sponsors of the event, are the only ones allowed. I have too much going on, and people will be like, "Oh, I can help." I'm sorry, no.
You just need to be focused on the vendors, making sure they're set up, or they need to move, or
well, and we got to go to
they
the
need to
trails and
move.
set 600-700 gates and
Yep.
set up my shop and all that. So,
Yep.
I
All the
mean,
vendors too, right? Yeah. So they've all got stuff to set up, and they don't need people being
right.
in the way.
Yeah, like trying to shop or, it's just Friday morning, 10 a.m. gates open.
Which is earlier than it used to be, so that's good.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just plan accordingly. And once the gates open, it's first come, first serve. We don't reserve spots. We don't, I mean, we file you in and that's where you're going.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be with two or three
Because
other
they're not
people,
marked off. The spots are not marked off.
correct.
So they try to just get people in line so they know how things are going to fit. But if one person skips a spot or tries to hold a spot and then it just gets hairy.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, we just got to file them in, Dave Walter and them, they've got their system. I mean, and it works great, but yeah, I mean, if you want, 3 or 4 vehicles together, then you meet up, find a gas station and you get in line.
Yep.
I mean, and the line isn't like atrocious. I mean, you're in real
I mean,
quick.
if you're one or two off, they're going to be.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, you want to be in a brick. Like you don't want to be showing up an hour after your crew. Try to get in line with your crew somewhere and do a caravan in.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
and overall, I mean, it's not like they're spread out over miles. I mean,
yeah.
It's really, centralized, and
Yep.
everybody's right there. So
Yeah, it's not far. I mean, we walk it. Yeah, it's
exactly.
pretty awesome. And part of the fun is when you do have to walk, you meet new people.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
or if you have new neighbors, man, I still, so I just actually got a new knife. I like knives, from a buddy that I met at the Monster Jam World Finals down in Gravedigger's Dungeon in North Carolina, who just camped next to me. That's how I got to know the guys from Freestyle RC. Wouldn't have known anything about that, but they were
Right.
camped next to me there.
Yeah.
Got to know them. They were cool. Got to learn all about their stuff. But he wasn't a vendor or anything. He was just small time at that time. And yeah, so it's cool to get to meet new people. Like, it really is, because when you go other places, you've got more people to look that may have come from out of state or whatever. Like the one guy's in New York, freestyles in Wisconsin. I actually went to their place in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't see it as a bad thing either. Like if it's like, oh, like you're gonna have somebody I don't know next to me. That's a good thing. Get to know who's next to you.
I mean, it's
And
RC
man,
cars. I mean,
yeah, yep.
I mean, have fun. We got the night crawls Friday night, Saturday night.
Yep. Those
Sun
are a
goes
blast.
down, and the Ring of Fire. I got to
That
figure
was
out
so
something for the
cool.
Ring of Fire. We need some like
We need to bring a radio over there,
well,
music and stuff
maybe
going.
some scorecards so we can judge people's jumps or something like.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I don't know. Well, a lot of
That's
things
not,
on my list. I got a list.
yeah, yeah, that's not a bad idea. That would be pretty fun. This will be my 3rd year and plan on going till they stop doing it. Trail Colors RC. Very cool. They had a whole tent set up and stuff with them. Their crew rolled in. They're come from out of state, so it's easier, I think, to carpool in and something like that. But yeah, I went and had a good time. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it this year. I look forward to it every year. I tell most people I think it's my favorite event. I love
Well,
USTE. USTE was probably one of the coolest.
right.
I mean, just different events, but you didn't get to camp there. So you
Okay.
had to leave everybody because of where they had it. And so you had all this fun, but then everybody went their own way and just kind of did their own thing.
Yeah.
And so the whole community aspect of it, I mean, so many people stay. It's probably close to what Beat the Creek is like, because there's so much of the on farm camping and stuff that they do there.
Right.
So I think some of that atmosphere, but then having all of the other, just RC fun stuff everywhere.
Well, and we
Um,
don't have mud.
no, it does, well, knock on wood, don't say that. Don't say that in Michigan. You could get snow at the end of September if you're not careful.
Oh, that would be cool. I'll
Shoot.
sell. Make sure I'll bring some extra hoodies to sell.
Oh, there you go. Tracks, bring a bunch of tracks to put on cars. Yeah, weather's actually been awesome. It's been one of the highlights. Like that time of year, it's so good. Yeah, don't jinx
Yeah.
it.
And for guys out west or whatever, Proline by the Fire was moved 2 weeks after.
Yes.
So that doesn't fall on Gauntlet weekend anymore.
Right. Get in the line, you guys.
So you know what that means. We got to bug Pablo.
Right. Well, he couldn't. He would have. I would have made him skip. He didn't go to either, so it didn't matter. You need to somehow have racing, but
there's a track. Make
I know.
your own race,
Just
Pablo.
bring his buggies. Yeah, I need to get him here somehow. But I've wanted to go to Proline. So when I first moved here and I was doing it full time, I'm like, I'm gonna hit all the things. And then there's like the same time of year. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna miss the gauntlet to go. So I got to go to the one that's local.
Right.
It was pretty warm last year. He said, I
Yeah.
remember it being pretty warm last year. It was warm during the day, but it cooled off at night. It was easy to sleep in a tent. Like we just tented it.
Yeah.
Super easy.
It was peaking like around 80, and
yeah, it was getting warm.
But it wasn't ridiculous.
No.
It was.
No, it wasn't humid like the South. Humid.
And if I got hot, I just zipped around on my 4-wheeler. So.
Yeah. In the trees, it wasn't bad either. In the sun, it was a little hot at the 24 comp, but
yeah,
it wasn't bad.
Yeah, but the woods holds the lower temp. So
Do you think I could get away with mounting some upgrade RC saw blade tires for U4 race?
Yikes.
That sounds dangerous. Purgatory, I didn't get back there this past year because we were setting gates and all that for the late night stuff we were doing. But I heard that was more racy kind of, which is cool.
Yeah, it was definitely much more U4.
Yeah. I just say that because of the U4. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
So, I'm
A little more
contemplating.
doable and speed oriented, right? Still hard, but
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely more racy U4 instead of like send it
yeah,
U4.
break your stuff. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Jason Reckner, I mean, because he had
Definitely
done it,
make
and then
things
last
easy.
year he's like, dude, I want to go like straight like King of the Hammers U4 style. So
Yeah. It was good. From what I heard, people were loving it. Like, because yeah, more people were finishing, which
right,
up the ante of like, oh, it's not just finish and no matter what speed. Yeah.
yep,
So you're gonna spray for mosquitoes? I didn't think it was that bad.
yeah. September, the temps drop and it really is not bad. Like I'd never remember like swatting at my, get
I don't
off me or
remember
whatever.
having any, and I was in shorts the whole time. I don't remember any bug bites.
Yeah, apparently, according to the whole internet, I don't own any pants. I just wear shorts. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. But
Uh,
I mean, well, my left leg, I'm okay on my left leg. But
Jason Moore said bugs weren't an issue from what I remembered. Yeah, I don't remember many at all. Dew was an issue.
oh,
So
that's
it was
always
very
an
dewy
issue.
because of that heat, then the cool at night because it did cool down at night. And
Yeah,
it
but
did rain actually. Speaking of, it did rain. I remember because we put up our tent and we tore it down. We put it back up. That first day it rained.
the fog was
Fog was
I
insane.
because I stayed at the hotel because I with my leg and stuff. So
Yeah.
driving in, I was like, whew.
Yeah. No, it rained. Yeah. The mornings are wet. So you want like some kind of like Crocs. See, it's a perfect event. Harley should come to it. Um, I think
Absolutely, Harley should come.
I think Matt and Josh should come. I mean, it's close for one, and then the other can wear his Crocs. It's a perfect place to wear your Crocs.
Yeah.
The
Be
trails are
there
good
or
for
be
Crocs.
square.
The trails are good for Crocs. All the grounds are good for Crocs. It's pretty good. It rained Sunday force. No, it rained before that. It rained the day we were setting up. So Friday it did, but it was quick. We got under the tents. We pulled all the tents down because I remember I had stuff for sale. I had to bring it all in. I just set out all my tables with cars for sale. I had to pull them all under the tent, and we dropped the tent, and it blew through real quick. So it wasn't bad.
Now, the
But
one thing that we haven't talked about, we've mentioned King of the Rocks and Purgatory and such, but 124th and 118th comps as well.
pretty big deal. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are like cranking those people through.
Yep.
I mean, wow.
I don't know what a Canadian tuxedo is. Great event wear Canadian tuxedo. I don't know what that is.
I remember, I think it was 2 years ago when was it 2 years ago or 3 years? I don't know. You were saying, you were saying that like, I never left a 40 by 40 area because you were so busy with the cops. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty busy. But where we were that year too, we were right by all of them.
right.
So this past year we were kind of removed from that. So we did just do ours and then we went out and did others. I did terrible on the King of Rocks this past year. I'll be
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
terrible.
and King of Rocks, I'm going to
It was
make sure
tough.
that's what?
It was tough.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I just want it wetter.
After you went through that mud, it was tough.
Okay, so it was muddy. Good. That's what I
Mhm.
told Jeff. I was like, mud.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It wasn't like it was mud. It wasn't like puddles, which is good. Like where you're
Right,
just going
right.
through water.
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
was sticky. Yeah.
Yeah, we
At
didn't
the
want
beginning.
standing water and all that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
But we'll see, because we always, we'll go rearrange it again this summer.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get out there. I want to talk with Dave Walter and Jeff Walter, of course, and hopefully maybe go do some features in the woods and stuff. And
Yeah. Travis and I are talking about heading out again soon.
well, let me know.
Yeah.
So
I can't do this weekend, but maybe next. I have to look.
Well, remember, typically I'm off on Saturdays when, and then soon here I'll be closed on Sundays for the summer. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, it would probably be maybe next Saturday, but I have to look.
okay.
But yeah. And Kyle, anybody, I want enough time that I can actually put something out saying we're going to, like, because we stayed last time from, I think we got there at 9 and we stayed till like 2. We stayed 5 or 6 hours when we were there.
God, you guys got out there at 9 a.m.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, but I wouldn't mind making
it
another
was 9.
video.
I was thinking something about 8, but 8 was when we left. I left at 8:15, got there at 9, and we were there till 2-ish, a little after 2.
I wouldn't mind making another little video like we did a couple 3 years ago.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yep. 2 a.m. 24 scale rounds. Jason Moore knows. He knows what it's. Dude, we were up crazy late. Friday night. It was it was late. I don't even remember if I went to bed till like 4. It was late. We walked. Somebody got hurt. Somebody. What's his name? You were done, RC. I'm blanking on his name. I'm seeing his face, but he fell like because of the dew at night. Like the fog set in so thick.
Right.
We're out there. The lights are glowing. Rick's got his trailer plugged in, lights all over it. Super fun. And that was going, man, like 2 a.m. I remember I broke one of my cars and then I went and sat under it and fixed it. I broke a servo horn on a servo I couldn't get another horn for. So I had to switch out and do a whole mess of things in order to try and keep going. I just had his name and then I lost it again. Anyway, he fell at his tent. He got hurt.
Yeah, somebody's saying Jeremy Burris.
Jeremy Burris, yes. Yeah. Is he in here?
Trail Crawlers was mentioned.
Yeah, and so we went and helped pick him up and make sure he was all right. Because they came and we were the ones up still. Like I was a little shocked at how early some people shut down. I'll be honest. I was like, we were ready to go. Ring of Fire happened. We were up late and
well, you're always gonna get the people, the midnighters.
Yeah.
And then you get the diehards.
Hey Billy Jaggy, what's up?
Yeah. Billy.
We stayed up pretty late and we had a blast. And we were rocking them on that crawler table for a long time. Somebody else said something. Last year was so hot and dusty taking the tractor to the woods. No. I mean, maybe for what it was, but if you've ever been to the other events that you've ridden on their trailers, that was nothing. I'm gonna tell you that much. Badlands is brutal. Taking the trailer out to the woods, brutal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so I guess you have to couch it based on your other experiences because it was one further drive Badlands, but so dusty and like 100 degrees.
Right. Hot, I mean, and last year was a little bit warmer than normal, but overall, it was.
Last year was a bit warmer. Yep.
We need some 35-degree nights, get those hoodies.
Yeah. We put the candle out around 3 a.m. every night. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously we have the people mover, to run people back and forth.
Which is nice in that they're individual seats too. It's not like sitting on hay bales on a open trailer.
Yeah, no, I mean, the benches, because
Yep, they got
both
benches.
those people movers are from a local county fair. That's where they got them from
Hmm.
Ionia County Free Fair, I believe. So they come in handy.
Speedos kept me cool. Somebody needs the American flag Speedo this trip. I want to see them being worn out to the trails. Would be so good. There's a
Don't
guy wearing something like that at Axial
don't
Fest.
don't tempt Kool-Aid with a good time.
Really? Now his were spandex. It wasn't like Speedo. It was a little longer, but they were. It was
Well,
a pretty fantastic outfit somebody had at Badlands last year.
just give them more bourbon.
But yeah, they try to keep speeds down. Oh, Tony's volunteering Speedos. Yeah, spring and fall. It's a little dusty, but they try to keep slow and they try to keep everybody else slow. It's two tracking, so you get a little dust. But yeah, let the king of RC rock the red, white, and blue. Maybe I should do something. We'll see.
I
Maybe
do
we'll bring
have
a fire or
something.
something.
I do have something like if we have a way to if we have a way to disperse water, if we had a water tank or something, I have some stuff that you can mix with the water because of my traction compound business, and to help keep the dust
Pack it
down.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Even just water would do it.
right.
Yeah.
But the stuff I have, like you put it into clay racing tracks to hold moisture. So therefore, if we spray it, hopefully maybe it'll just require less maintenance. But something to work on.
Kool-Aid would definitely be that guy. Jason Moore, I think yes. Yeah, the mankini. That's what it was. Jason, Zach and I were talking about American flag mankini. Yep. There you go. It would feel very Redbud. We can get them with some
right.
Redbud outfits going on here. That's a hoot. I got my horn. I can bring that train horn, but yeah.
Remember, guys, if you're just tuning in, and we're like 30 minutes in.
Yep.
Gauntlet, September 19th through the 21st. Gates open Friday, 10 a.m. Make plans now.
$35.
$35, $5 increase over last year. It gets you access to everything.
And camping.
And camping included. Now, one thing about the campers, some guy, because I've gotten this over the last few years, if you need to fill your water tanks, you can fill them on site. So
There's a
that way
hose,
you can
yeah.
have a lighter load when you're driving and stuff. So there is access for that. So
yeah. Yeah, but there's not like plug-ins where you just stay plugged in.
no,
You can
no,
fill
no.
your tank. They got a hose in that. Yeah.
Yep.
And sometimes some people may have at that 3 a.m. hour also showered under said hose to wash their hair. May or may not have happened. Any word from Beef Tubes for this year? I know it's up for sale.
Exactly. But hey, as far as purgatory, sponsorship or whatever, I mean, I could step in, reaction, whatever. We can figure it out.
Yep.
It's all good. Dan Davidson, he's done a lot for the gauntlet. I mean, since the beginning, OG sponsor and supporting purgatory, and he's been there the last couple of years, and
Yep.
and things change, people's lives change, it's, you just got to roll with it. It is what it is. You can't, throw shade or whatever. It's just like, whatever.
Yeah. Nope, that's understandable. Do you know who some of the vendors are yet? Have you heard?
As far as vendors on site, I know Ryan and RC Addicts will be back.
Okay.
And, he keeps requesting bigger space, which, hey, whatever. But as far
He's
as
got a big rig,
sponsors,
man.
he requested 20 by 80 this year. I'm like, whew, okay. And of course I'll be on site. I'm the best vendor, right? Family RC, sponsors, CCXRC. No, I mean
I'm
we're in
not
the
a
early
vendor
stage.
though. I'm
Yeah,
not selling parts or
I
anything.
know,
Yeah.
I know. No, I mean we're in the early stages of getting the sponsors and vendors.
Yeah.
I mean, well, and it depends who you talk to. The bigger manufacturers, they want it as soon as possible. The
Yeah.
smaller guys, they're like, okay, we'll make a decision. Like the cutoff date for me is like you need to commit if you're going to be a sponsor and or vendor, especially on site, August 1st. And I'm always flexible, um, but yeah, it's still a little early and figure out who all is coming. RC Chop Shop is a new sponsor this year.
Oh,
He
cool.
will be on site.
Okay. Cool. They're out
So
of Ohio, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And so he reached out to me and it sounded like he was going to be on site.
I had Crawler
Um,
Canyon last year, right?
yeah, Crawler Canyon was here.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, but I've heard things about him closing as well, coming in June. So,
Oh.
there's Postmate or whatever.
Huh.
I'd,
Just
reconfirm.
waiting. Yeah. Okay.
But, and then it's probably the same guy that was at Beat the Creek. I'm not 100% sure, but somebody kind of repping Trial reached
Okay.
out.
Okay.
So, hopefully, there'll
Jeremy,
be,
Addie's
what?
RC. Jeremy, was it Jeremy?
I'd have to go back and look.
Okay.
But yeah, Trail would be a
I need
new
to get a
sponsor.
Operation 11 Charlie up here too.
Trio would be a new sponsor, and hopefully they'd be on site as well, which would be
Okay.
cool. They were actually because I sponsored Beat the Creek this year,
Mhm.
so I had a tent and whatever. And the Trio tent was actually next to my tent. Nick, who's in the chat, was down there with Mike, who does a lot of coursework and stuff, and those two were kind of repping Reaction and the Gauntlet and whatnot, and so yeah, it was great, to get out there and promote a bit and sink in the mud together. And there was other
Yeah.
guys from Michigan down there. So
Yep. I know Kyle and Travis went and some other people. I was
yeah,
trying to
exactly.
see. My internet's running really slow right now. I was trying to look something up while you were chatting. Um, 011C will be there, but not sure if we're going to set up a booth at our campsite for it. So Trail Crawlers, he's with the Operation 11 Charlie crew, and some of those Ohio guys are part of that crew. Jeremy Kilburn, I was trying to think of his last name.
Yeah, Jeremy Kilburn.
Blanking.
Yeah.
I was thinking Jeremy Bunton, and I had Jeremy Burris stuck in my head because we just talked about him. But he's the one. He has some killer builds, man. At Eddie's RC, but he works with quite a few of those companies these days. But I know I first met him through Operation 11 Charlie, and then he was with Trio for some stuff, and he hooked me up with some stuff at Axial Fest last year. So that's why I was curious.
Somebody asked if we're going to have any volunteer days to help prep the trails. Now, at the actual event, no. But like I said, I might be talking with, Dave Walter and stuff, just to, maybe make some new features and help out, whatever. I've been talking to Nick and Mike, and whatever, hopefully get out there, just to,
Yeah,
I mean,
we've
something,
been
little things to make it different is always good. So,
yeah.
and,
And it just
and if
helps Jeff
anything,
out, man. Jeff puts in so many
oh,
hours
yeah,
making sure that the trails are walkable and that you know what a trail is by
yeah,
blowing them and clearing them. I mean, if we could even
100%.
just help go in with leaf blowers or whatever they want. I know I got a big steel one and different things I could go in and ahead of time. And if they want help clearing some of that and blowing out some of the trails and making paths, we could do that. It'd be better to do it a little ahead of time anyway. So
Yeah. So like a couple of people have mentioned like reefs and K, it's like I talked to Mike Kirby when I went down to the vintage off-road race in Indiana last month,
Yep.
and Reefs, Reefs has been a multi-year sponsor, a long-time sponsor. And people about on site and this and that. Well, okay, so here's the thing: is like I would love to have all these guys on site. So like we've been averaging
There's a ton of people.
almost 30 to 35 sponsors per year, but like only 7 to 9 come on site.
Yeah.
Reefs was, a sponsor last year, the year before, this, that,
But he's
but
from California, so of course, where's he
well,
going to
right,
be?
exactly.
The
So
line
it's
by the
like,
fire. Yeah.
it depends on their schedules and what they're able to commit. I mean, these guys do sponsor or have sponsored. We just haven't crossed that hurdle of getting more on site. So
Jason Moore, you and me both, buddy. The a little cart driving around with the LED sign, free drinks going around. That
Is
that
that
was
who
one
had
of
the
the
beer,
coolest
the,
things
the
ever.
beer
Yeah,
truck?
he did have.
I put
Yep.
that on my Instagram, remember?
Yeah. Yep. I think I led it with it in my video for it. Like,
I had to use somebody else's video.
cool. It might have
I
been
was like,
mine. I had great video of it. I stopped and talked with him. Got lots of video of it. But yeah, it's a great event, you guys. It's just growing and growing and growing, and um, great people there. It's been nothing. We've had no real like crazy issues with anybody that I can think of any. I don't remember any incidences or anything like that, but it's just been really good, and the vibe's always awesome there, and
yeah, I mean, the gaunt, up
so much
front,
RT.
like I remember, a few years ago, and because there was always the camping thing and getting bigger, and I was like, we're moving it up front, and everybody's
Yeah,
like, oh, da, 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 da. And now it's like Gauntlet Town, and it's just
yeah,
like it comes to life and lights up once the sun goes down. It's
yeah.
like, I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, because
full.
it is further from the trails is what they were thinking, but then if you look at most of these other events, you gotta walk in anyway, so
Yeah,
it's not different. Um, so and with the people mover, it ain't bad. But we've
right.
walked it. I mean, some of us just walked it in or out
Sure.
instead of waiting, it's
Well,
not
and
undoable.
also, especially now that it's up front, like I had my four-wheeler there last year. You can bring an ATV, you can bring a side by side, you can bring golf carts. Obviously, you keep it slow,
Yeah,
but that gives you more individual mobility,
yeah,
if you needed like special, I mean, I had my leg amputated,
right.
so it's like
You need to
if
go
you
park,
needed
right?
a special situation, hey, let me know. I
Yeah.
mean, we can figure things out. I mean, we're not trying to limit it to anybody. And I'm hoping to add some things. Um, Things I'm thinking about: widen all the trail gates. People ask about like SCX sixes and stuff like that, and it's like, well, I'll just widen the gates. And maybe I'll do a six specific course, but I don't know if there's anything big enough.
The rocks aren't that big. Honestly, the
Right.
best place to have run them and where I don't know if you have a class for them, but
No,
the,
I don't have a
Purgatory
class. Well,
Purgatory
right.
course is, like, awesome, like, those are the biggest rocks. Like, like, when I moved here, I had the SCX6, but I wasn't allowed to talk about it, right? And I saw that course there, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I need to come back here and make my video for the SCX6 on this course right here," because it was awesome for it. Um, so I had to wait because I learned about the trail cams right away. So I waited till day of, and I got there in the morning, day of the announcement. I'd already made my video where I could do it secretly, whatever. But then I immediately went there and ran there. So I mean, there's places where you could run them like after Purgatory or whatever's done. But um, again, I don't know if there is a class for them in Purgatory. I know they have different
No, no, no,
classes,
no.
but
I mean, the primary focus is still 10 scale
yeah.
crawlers and stuff. So, um,
I thought
I
they had
see.
different classes for Purgatory, right? Didn't they have
Well, last year we
did
kind
all in
of
one?
tear. tightened it back
Okay.
down
Yeah.
because it went to the U4 style.
Yeah.
I mean, because we had whatever open this that,
There's
and
like the
you're
laser
bringing out
knife
like low.
classes, there was the solid axle classes, there was the independence. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it was just because of the course change. It was we just it was 2 or 3 classes instead of like 4, whatever. Instead of the big send it, because I mean, as much as it is a crawler focused event,
Yeah.
So like when X Maxes and all this, and we were just kind of like, all right,
Yeah.
and then with the U4 style course,
Yeah.
I mean, not that X Maxes and they have their place,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, we definitely like the trails
Yeah.
and the crawling side of stuff.
The only
So
thing to remember, guys, 'cause I see people saying there's plenty of room to enjoy an SCX6 on the trails. There are. There's also a lot of things that you could break on the trails for or rearrange rocks to make it unpassable by 10th scale with an SCX6. So that's just one thing to always be mindful of, and that's always an issue whether you have an SCX6 or not. If you're tearing stuff up, try and put it back. Like,
Okay, so Kyle Kelly, he's like SCX trail, please. Well, like I said, I mean, am I going to go out there and build like a rock trail and all this for SCX6s? The answer is no. I
right?
mean, because it's just, it's the Walters property and this and that. That's why it's like widen the gates. Now, this is actually segue to a great thing. We set the trails, the 6 trails with flags and this and
Yeah,
that. And we may not hit like every area, so to speak, that you
right.
might want to check out.
Yeah,
Don't hesitate to go do something,
right.
like case in point, last year one of the trails, it came close. They had that the tube, the rolling tube
Yeah,
thing, whatever, out in the woods. Well, it wasn't like quote in the trail.
right,
Well, it's okay if you go do it, like,
right.
the
Kind of a
trails are pretty.
suggestion to keep you moving in a direction
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
to
the
where
trails
there's
are just
something
a
interesting.
suggestion. Yeah.
Yep, it's a trail.
I
Yeah,
mean,
to keep you
there's
moving.
and what a lot of people don't realize, and and maybe I'll try to incorporate it this year. Last year, coming off my surgery from the previous year, um, like, so I'd never really been back into the woods a ton. So I
Yeah.
was rolling around with Dave Walter, and we're rolling around the quote, front area that I'm used to. And then you go past that sugar shack, if you know where that is,
Oh yeah, it's
and then
back
it's
there.
like there's another like 30 acres, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah,
like what is this?
yeah, yeah. Axial 32 is right. There is a section way on the far side of that. You go through the rock garden and then you keep going to that corner and there's that creek. There's that corner and there's a bunch of rocks that go into that creek. That would, if you were to set up gates that were STX6 specific, that wouldn't be a bad spot to start just because of the amount of rocks
Right.
in that area.
Well,
But
so the thing is like, so
they probably use that for the comp.
the comp
So
course
that's
is
the
going to be
tough.
on the other side of the creek this year.
Right. Okay.
So it's going to be further down. So I mean, we'll explore options. I
Yeah.
don't want stuff too close because it got confusing last year,
Yep.
and so we'll just see how it all lays out. But
Yep. Yeah. I'm
that's why I
planning to
want to.
bring mine. So Kyle and other people, I'm planning
I
to
mean,
bring mine with me this
I
time.
have one too, so
Yeah.
it's like
There's definitely some spots in there to run them. Even when you start seeing some of the mounds that they have, that would be great. And I always say even when I go with Travis and there's no gates, we're intentionally choosing the hard lines, like
yeah.
because maybe there were gates, but it's like, well, we're gonna do these ones because this looks harder to go this way.
I
So
will say, rolling around, because I made probably 3 trips out there and just cruised around with Dave Walter, because like I said, I hadn't seen much because I'd never had the ability to walk through the woods. And we've had storms and this, and we've had uprooting of trees and all this stuff. Now, there
yep,
is some gnarly stuff back there that I saw. So I don't know, or even if we sectioned off something and said, "Hey, SCX6s have at it," you know what I mean? Like, you never know. But I do know that the sixes
yeah,
are a little more in demand. So
yep. What's going on, Dirk?
Oh, Dirk, late to the party.
Yeah. Well, I think we covered a lot of it. What's the note say? Did we miss?
Okay, so when
Events.
you
We talked
show
about
up,
the events.
Friday, gates open Friday, 10 a.m. If you want to drive an RC vehicle on the property anytime, you need to be registered for insurance reasons for the Walter family. You must
Yep.
have a wristband. You must
Yep.
pay. You
Yep.
must this is
Yeah.
the one thing, with us putting on
It's
this
really
event.
about insurance. Yep. It's really
Yeah,
about making
exactly.
sure you're on the insurance rider.
Right. Exactly. I mean, this is the one thing Dave Walter is very adamant about, and I get it. It's his property. I don't,
Yep.
we're very grateful to even
If you
have
run into
anything.
somebody, like you're not on the trails, but you could hit somebody with your car or hurt somebody or get hurt because you're running one and have something in your hands. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You get distracted even yourself while walking, whatever, I mean, first thing
Yeah.
is you pull in, you set up camp, you chill, you go to registration.
Yep.
Because like the trails don't even open until 1 o'clock on Friday, and maybe I'll push it to 2, but 1 o'clock, I mean, because you get guys right there front and center. But
Yeah.
I don't open the trails on Friday until 1 p.m. because you need to register. So and put
Um,
that wristband on.
Yeah, make it clear the timed course is only for comps. Yes. There's a section that will be only for those gates are only for people that are doing the timed course in the competition. There
Correct.
will be open use trails that'll be available to
Yep.
anybody to run, go
Yep.
slow, pass people, go
Yeah.
around them. If there's
Yeah.
a group in front of you that's just taking forever, come back and hit that one that you skip later if you want. But
Now, and now I will kind of intervene a smidgen. The comp course, it is still a trail. You're
yep,
still on a trail. This isn't like comping at my place or Family RC or some other, you know, quote unquote single file, like one person at a time. This
yep,
is a trail. This is
yep,
G6. You're gonna have traffic. It's not gonna be perfect. So you
yeah,
got to play the game a little bit.
yeah.
I
And it's
recommend,
time, so it's
hey,
not like, oh, you just wait for the person in front of you. If
no,
you can get around them, get around them. Yeah.
right,
You
yeah,
still gotta work that gate in, but
right. And you got to play the game. Hey, if you want to run multiple trucks, I recommend. Hey, we try to fire off at 9 a.m. Go out, as soon as you can. That way
yep,
you don't have traffic if you don't want it. I mean,
yep, yep.
it's all, and
It's a mix of earth and rock and trees and
it's all about
all
fun.
kinds of stuff. And it is about fun, but yeah, there it's also a race. It's a race, it's a race. I'm winning, I'm winning.
Oh yes, so yeah, trail crawlers was saying property owner has final say, 100%. I answered to Dave Walter. Now the thing is that if you have questions about the gauntlet
Don't
weekend,
everybody go right to him.
you come to me.
Yeah.
You send a message to the gauntlet page, or whatever. But Jeff and Dave have enough going on. Don't be trying to, oh, I've known you for this and that. No, none of that. Because, we we rent Walter RC Park for the weekend. It is, the gauntlet event. It is our event. So, I mean, obviously they're in charge, but if you want, if I'm the final say, so to speak.
Yep. We've been out fourth through the comp. Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
There will be schedules. This is too early to have the schedule for you guys. Schedules will be coming
yeah. I mean, it's going to
closer
be
to the
super
event.
similar. I mean, if you've been, the last couple years, I don't, you know, stray from the path. I don't make these crazy, wild, changes. I mean, it's going to be very, very similar to the last 2 years. So you should know what to expect. And then when you check in and register, I'll have the baggie, like last year, where you get, a driver badge, for you to have. And then there's going to be schedule of events. There's going to be all that stuff, and it's like,
Yep.
here's your info. the way we did prizes last year, we were texting people instead of raffle tickets. That worked out awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it really ran good. I mean, I really didn't feel stressed last year. It was great.
Right. Yeah, things went pretty smooth.
Yep.
On the whole. So, well, cool. Well, let's get ready to wrap it up here. We'll have another one of these in the next probably month or two, month and a
Yeah, I
half.
mean,
If
once
we
a
get
month
more
or so.
details and
Yeah.
just keep this front of mind, but also when can they start registering? Where should they go to get registered, to find information
Well,
about
I,
the
I would
event?
say I would say 90%, or 80 to 90% of the people just register at the event. I do online registration. It's not required. Some people, they want to, prepay, pay ahead just so for budgeting for whatever they're. Last year I opened that in July, which was a little late, but I mean, a majority of people are on site at the event.
Paying
But
just
that'll
as
be
they get
set up.
there.
I'll have that all posted on the Great Lakes Gauntlet Facebook page, of course.
Yeah.
And
I
so
paid in person.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, between the spread of people moving in and the line moved really quick. It wasn't
Yeah.
like you were in the line for like an hour or two, so it
And
was.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that
Okay.
it moved smoothly. I mean, we've got stuff, figured out with the everything to make it, as smooth as possible. So
Yep. And don't forget, guys, if you want to get out to Walter RC Park and run, they're open daily. So you can
yeah,
go up ahead of time. You can kind of get a lay of the land. You can kind of see what some of the rocks are like, test out tires, different things if you want to,
yeah. I
like
mean,
depending on what you want to get into.
Purgatory's sitting there
So
probably overgrown, but
yeah.
but
Yeah, it'll probably get redone anyway. But the other stuff like the rock garden, there's trails, you get an idea for
absolutely,
how the whole thing
you
works.
can go there 7 days a week. There's a little
There's a booth you go
shack,
to before you go
a
in. Yep.
registration shack. You sign in, you $5 and go have fun.
Yep.
I mean, and there's nothing stopping you, so to speak, from, like you said, going out and learning the trails, learning this. I mean, whether you just want to have fun or, kind of get a leg up for the comp side, but it's just a great facility. I mean, there's nothing like it, at least remotely in this area.
Yeah. Yep. It's a good
you
time.
know, and the Walter family has done a lot for the hobby, for, everything. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree with Actual 32. Says he needs to make a hat with his username. That's the hardest part is when you meet people in chats and they don't have like their name as or picture. So even if we were to meet Jason Moore there, Jason Moore just has a J for his little logo there. So if somebody's in the chat now and doesn't know who Jason is, or they see
Do I
Actual
need to buy
32,
some "Hello, my name is"
right? We need
badges?
hello, my name is stuff like hats. Just have a hat. Hello, my name is, and have Sharpies to write our
Slim
names on our
Shady.
hats. Yeah, Frizzle Fry 99. So yeah, that's always the hardest part for me. It's like, hey Tony, I'm like, hey, you
Hey, you remember me? Blah, 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 blah.
yeah, talking with you
Yeah,
in
I do.
chat. Oh yeah. And usually I can remember if they remind me what it was, but it is funny how we do that. Like we'll show up at events and kind of know, but you're waiting to like, is this who I think it is? But yeah. All right. I'll have a
So,
scrolling name tag. There you go. I like it.
Gauntlet, September 19th through the 21st, 2025.
Walter RC Park.
See you there.
See you guys.
Peace.
$35.